Hello guys. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 810, the circulatory system. Okay, now the circulatory system is basically like your oxygenation system. It's made up or basically referred to as the cardiovascular system or the vascular system. It controls the steady circulation of the blood. And what did I always tell you guys the blood is basically your oxygen. If you don't have blood, you don't have oxygen to the body, okay? Because the oxygen comes in as we breathe it in, it goes into the lungs, it makes a gaseous exchange in the lungs, and then transfers to the blood. And the circulatory system basically takes all that blood all over the body and circulates it, distributing oxygen to all the cells, okay? Now, the circulatory system is made up of two divisions. One is the blood, which is called our blood vascular system, and the other is the lymph vascular system, called our lymphatic system, okay? So this is important. The lymph nodes are all over the body, just like you have lymph nodes right here. And you can feel those really big whenever you get sick or up under the arms. There's all these little veins that go all through the body that carries the lymph fluid, which is a clear yellow fluid, and circulates throughout the body. Now this carries waste and impurities away from the cells. So a lot of people like to have massages, and they have what we call lymphatic massage, which does a great deal of helping to make sure that the lymphatic system is moving the lymph fluid throughout the body as readily as possible. Now, the heart, which is located right basically here in the middle of the chest, is referred to as the body's pump. Now, this muscular cone-shaped organ basically keeps everything moving. It is a very strong muscle, and it keeps the blood flowing throughout the body. Now, it's enclosed in a thin little sac called the pericardium. Now, the pericardium is basically like saran wrap around the heart is what it is, okay? So it's right up there. It helps to protect the heart. Okay, it's a membrane, okay, that surrounds the heart. So if you've ever heard of people like, you watch all these TV shows and they have fluid around the heart, that means that fluid got outside of the heart, but is still inside the pericardium. It fills up, not allowing the blood to pump, and people can have a heart attack from that. Now, the interior of the heart contains 4 chambers, okay? So they're the upper thin walled chambers. We have the right and the left atrium, and then you have the right and left ventricle on the other side, which are thick and lower. Okay. Arteries are basically large, very large, and thick walled, muscular, flexible tubes. They carry oxygenated blood throughout the body. Okay. So they're the ones that's taken all this blood that has oxygen in it throughout the body, exchanging into the capillaries, making gas exchanges, okay? The vessels are what basically carries deoxygenated blood. It has some oxygenated blood in there as well, of course, but deoxygenated blood back to the heart, okay? Then you have capillaries. Now, capillaries, you can see, are these little bitty, tiny, thin-walled blood vessels, okay? They connect the smaller arteries to the veins, okay? You'll also see very small capillaries. You can see them throughout. And remember how I told you when we were doing like the special effects makeup on the eye and stuff like this, or I said you'd have that petechia hemorrhaging, that's where your capillaries are rupturing, okay? And you can see that petechia hemorrhaging underneath there. Now, hemoglobin is in the blood. It's a complex iron protein that gives blood its bright red color. Now, there's a lot more to this, of course, guys. I'm not getting that in depth with anatomy and physiology of this, but I'm giving you what you need to know and what your state board requires you to know, okay? So this is very, very important. So just remember, hemoglobin in the blood, it's a complex iron-rich protein that gives blood its bright red color, okay? Then you have plasma. Now, plasma is a fluid. It's usually a white fluid or a clearer fluid. It's a fluid that's part of the blood in which the red and the white blood cells and platelets flow. It's about 90% water. And if I remember correct in my days when I worked in the lab, whenever they spun the blood down, so they put the blood in the tubes as they take it from the patients, they put it into a centrifuge. It spins extremely fast dividing the blood into plasma, and the plasma will be like a clearish yellow fluid that goes up to the top, and the blood is heavier, so therefore it goes down to the bottom of the tube. So, but just remember, plasma is a fluid that is about 90% of water. Now, one of the chief critical functions of blood is to work with the immune system and to protect the body from harmful microorganisms, okay? Then this is also very, very important with the lymphatic system as well. Okay, so that basically concludes our lecture for circulatory system. Make sure that you read over the info sheet. It should be in your Google Classroom. Take notes on the lecture. If you do, you'll do fine on the test. You should make 100. It's a very simple test, okay? Thanks, guys.